that would be our Toyota tip-off. Toyota, let's go places. So great Osobor for Utah State against Leo Colomario for the Dogs. Fresno State wearing red on its home floor. Don't always see that. And the Aggies in white. And the tip won by Utah State. So the Aggies have it first with that veteran point guard, Darius Brown, across the timeline. Dogs start out in a man-to-man. Uduje up top against Pope. Threads it into the block for Osobor. Double teamed. Osobor going to work in the lane and draws a foul. Mike Reed blows the whistle and calls that on Leo Colomario. That'll be his first. So Coach Q with a very thin bench. 16 seconds and Fresno State's got a foul.
You ain't kidding. I mean, you know, I grew up on a cattle ranch, man, and there were some bulls out there that were like that big old guy. I tried to be one like that when I was in college. He's going to be tough.
Inbound comes to Ian Martinez, back to the basket against Pope, backing him down, jump stop in the lane, steps through and had it swiped away by Hill, but there's another foul call. Michael Irving blows the whistle and calls it on Isaiah Hill. So Taylor just told you how thin the Bulldogs bench is and how figuring out minute distribution is a challenge. Might not be much of a challenge if everybody's in foul trouble.
No, you're going to have to be okay with making some subs and putting in different defenses. Heavy ball pressure is going to be maybe the key thing tonight.
There's a former Bulldog, Ryan Colburn, the quarterback, bringing his family up from Visalia tonight. Good to see him. First free throw did not go down for Ian Martinez, so he's got another one coming. No score. We played 21 seconds. Fresno State already has 2 personal fouls. Well, 2 team fouls. 1 apiece on Hill and Colomario. Martinez makes the second free throw, so it's a 1-0 Aggie lead. And per tradition, the Fresno State faithful, the Red Wave here in Fresno, on their collective feet, awaiting the first Bulldog points. Isaiah Hill gives it up to Pope right wing. Now over to Jalen Weaver. Cross court it comes for Hill with a white headband. He's matched up with Osobor. Step back 3 over the big man. No good. Weaver fighting for the offensive board. Couldn't get it. And Darius Brown wants to run for Utah State. Oh, my
goodness.
Osobor running the floor. Gets the 2-hand dunk.
Jesus.
The Brown and Osobor connection was in play last year for the Montana State Bobcats, and it has the Aggies with their first bucket, 3-0 Utah State.
And a big man that can run and has hands should be playing tight end somewhere in the NFL, but he's here in Fresno tonight.
Pope launching at 3 left side, and he gets the roll. The penetration from Hill, the 3 from Pope, and we're tied at 3.
We know that they're going to need to dribble penetration and kick out the shooters with a good, hands and feet ready to get some good looks.
3-3 our score. Minute 20 gone by. Utah State another opportunity. Ian Martinez bounces it into the high post for Osobor. Back to the basket. Driving on Colomario. Forces it up with the left hand and gets it. Osobor had a 20-point first half against the Dogs in Logan. He's got 4 of the first 5 for Utah State tonight. And whistles blowing. We have a shot clock issue. The shot clock was not moving. So they're going to have to fix that. And no transition opportunity there for the Bulldogs.
Well, you look at what Utah State's running and how they're looking to the interior. If the pass comes from the wing, it's a little bit easier to double team. But when it gets to the top, you got to find a way to prevent that by ball pressure. But Osobor is so good that even when he gets it from the wing, he knows how to pass fake. So that's a good sign for Utah State, bad for Fresno State.
Fresno State with the ball, 5-3 Aggies, 18:20 to go first half. Ducell, the three-point specialist, on the left wing against Martinez. Colomario rolled to the hoop, couldn't hit him. It comes up top to Weaver, driving on Falslev. Jump stop, maybe got away with the travel. Back out to Hill, right wing, shot clock at 7. Matched up with Brown, fakes right, dribbles left, shot clock at 4. Here it comes to Weaver right side. He penetrates, dishes to Colomario to beat the shot clock. Utah State did not think it counted, and Randy Richardson says, I heard you, I'm going to look at the monitor and let's see if it counts. He said it counted, but he wants to look at the monitor now. So another early break in the action. We've played 2 minutes. Unless they overturn that for coming too late, it's going to be 5-5.
Well, you look at the play, if you're on the Mountain West Network on the radio, you just got to trust me. It's going to be close. I don't know if he got it out of his fingers in time.
It was a little risky to pass it that late for Jalen Weaver.
Now, if it works, great assist.
Here comes a replay. If you're with us on the Mountain West Network, you want to keep your eye on the clock. 2-1. It doesn't have fractional seconds. Colomario, did he? Yep.
He didn't
well,
get it
there's
off.
no light on there. Did the light come on before he let it go?
What are they going to determine it by the light?
Yeah, by the light. So the light that's right above the rim, it did come on before he released it. So the 2 points do not count by a fraction of a second. And Utah State has a 5-3 lead 2 minutes in. Martinez, right wing, lobbing down low. Osobor knocked away by Colomario, and a turnover. Here comes Fresno State. The lead pass for Ducell. Layup, good. Fresno State getting up and down the floor, and we're tied at 5.
Well, you got to be willing to kick it up against this team, and good ball pressure on the pass made it offline.
And Colomario is working his tail off trying to contend with the 250-pound Osobor underneath. Martinez a pull-up baseline J left side, no.
Ooh.
Offensive board, Osobor goes back up and spins it up and in. Dogs didn't want to foul him. For a guy his size, he's got some bounce too, Coach.
Yeah, he probably got fouled, but it didn't look like it. He's just so strong.
7-5 Aggies, 17:20 to go first half. Ducell, an open look for 3. The high arcer, air ball. Missed everything, and here comes Darius Brown for Utah State. Brown, a big physical 6'2" guard, broad shoulders, thick chest, and really big brain basketball-wise. He finds Osobor in the paint, spinning to his left hand, layup good, plus a foul. So it's just all Osobor all the time. Danny Sprinkle's game plan, he knows the Bulldogs have no answer physically for the 6'8", 250-pound junior.
Well, he's so good when that ball comes from the top. Where does your help come from? So you leave Leo one-on-one. He's doing his best to push him out. He's stronger than Ledee. Ledee has a better looking body, but that guy is powerful, to say the least.
And now he's at the foul line. Osobor has 8 of the first 9 for Utah State, and he missed the free throw. Chase Courtney, who just checked in, gets the board. Chase is 6'10", 230-pound junior who's been playing a little more lately because of all the injuries the Bulldogs have dealt with. And Courtney trying to post up Darius Brown underneath. Here's Hill up top against Osobor. Little shake and bake, crossover, dribbles down the left side, jump stop. Got him leaning, back up top for Pope it comes, and a 3-ball, no good. Courtney trying to get the rebound, and he got fouled by Darius Brown, contending for rebounding position.
Well, you look at the way Courtney's battling in there. You're going to need some of that. But you can just tell this defense that Utah State has. They talk a lot. The Dogs got to continue to keep trying to penetrate. And whenever they can, I just think that they're going to have to get some interior points from someplace to make it easier for, either something coming off pick and roll for Hill, something to get in the lane.
16:40 to go first half. Aggies 9, Bulldogs 5. Isaiah Pope got away with a walk before finding Hill on the right wing. Hill working the pick and roll with Courtney. And Isaac Johnson flashes out to deny a pass. There's Pope penetrating, spins in the lane, puts it high up there, but it came down with nothing but air. Landed in the hands of Isaac Johnson, the 7-foot sophomore who transferred from Oregon. Aggies with the ball, a 9-5 lead. Uduje firing from 3 from the corner, no good, but an offensive board for Ian Martinez, backing Ducell down. Here comes the double team. Colomario knocked it away, and it's out of bounds to Fresno State. So Leo Colomario being very aggressive defensively, getting his hands on some balls.
Well, you got to be in this game because you have to find a way to double team that post because those guys are just bigger and stronger and they're willing to go. But that wasn't the big man that time, so they got a good double team on him and got a turnover. But you like what Utah State does when they go into the post first because they're hard to stop. That shot, I'm sure the coach is saying, hey, don't shoot that shot unless it touches the middle.
9-5 Aggies, 4 minutes in. Isaiah Pope dribbling in on Uduje, back out to Weaver, now to the left sideline, Hill against Brown. Isaiah Hill getting the ball screen from Courtney, swings it up top, Pope. Now over to Colomario, right wing against Osobor. He'll shoot the 3 in his face and swish it. Leo Colomario brings Fresno State within a point at 9-8.
Wow. Nice shot by Leo, confidence shooting it.
Aggies moving it around the perimeter. Brown swings to Uduje, driving in right baseline against Pope, hangs in the air, double clutch shot goes with contact. Tough finish for Josh Uduje, the British import at 6'5", and he puts the Aggies up 3. We'll have a timeout the next time you hear the whistle.
Well, you're looking at you got to be able to defend your man one-on-one on the ball.
Hill trying to employ a ball screen from Courtney.
He's open.
Johnson with the switch. Hill passes cross court to the left baseline corner. Colomario, whose fake got Osobor up in the air, but Johnson came with a help D. Nothing there for Leo. Back up top, Hill, 7 to shoot 6. One-on-one with Brown. Nice crossover. Step back 3. Top of the key. No good. Courtney knocks it loose from Osobor, but that's going to be a foul on Chase Courtney. And the Aggies will have it when we come back. Well, the Bulldogs battling, Coach.
They're battling. They just got to play a little bit smarter on the offensive end. Somebody's going to have to duck in the middle and get in the middle and make something happen. You just can't stay perimeter all day. For Utah State, you got to be pleased with what's going on. You're dominating on both ends.
14:59 to go in the first half. Utah State 11, Fresno State 8. It's Fresno State basketball from their Well, 5 minutes in at the Save Mart Center tonight. Fresno State looking for the upset against 22nd ranked Utah State. The Mountain West leading Aggies have gotten 9 points now from Great Osobor, who's 4 for 4 from the floor. But, Coach, the Bulldogs are stepping up to this physical battle, and they've made a few plays.
They have made some plays, and they need to continue to do it. But for Utah State, they're getting what they want every time down. They got to figure out how to stop that and come out and change the defense.
Darius Brown penetrating right side, back out top. Martinez gets it into the post for Osobor. Triple team, finds a cutting Isaac Johnson, who crashes into Courtney, misses at point-blank range. A scramble for the ball, and the Bulldogs have it. Dogs dodge a bullet. Now they're looking for transition. Hill up the right side of the floor. Now dribbles toward the middle, swings it back to the sideline. Colomario. Courtney trying to post up. Leo fires cross-court to Weaver, threaded it through. Here's Weaver attacking the paint, up against Martinez. No. Rebound Isaac Johnson of Utah State.
He's got to quit fading on those drives. He's got to try to dunk on somebody and go through them.
Martinez driving hard. Jump stop. Spinning. Had it knocked away. Got it back. Fires back out to the perimeter. Brown. Darius Brown to the left baseline. Uduje now into the post for Osobor. His one-handed pass goes off the hand of his fellow Brit Uduje and out of bounds. Osobor tried a no-look pass that he might have been better off looking at. And the turnover has it back in Bulldogs' hands, down just by 3 points.
Well, you look at that play there. He got a little bit lazy on that. But he's trying to, they're trying to confuse him. And I think they did a good job out of that timeout, making it to where he doesn't see where the double team is coming from.
Aggies 11, Bulldogs 8, 13:50 to go first half. 14 fouls apiece on the Dogs and Aggies. 4 on the Dogs, 1 on the Aggies, and now a moving screen on Chase Courtney is going to give it back to Utah State. Are you at all surprised that Chase Courtney got in before Pierre Geneste?
Well, Chase is stronger, bigger body, got more. You're going to need somebody to stop that big guy in their middle. I mean, he can play, and so they got to use Chase's hustle and hope he doesn't run out of steam too soon.
A 3-point Aggie lead, 13.5 minutes to go against the zone. They find Brown in the high post. Back out Martinez, a right wing 3-ball, and there's the first one for Utah State tonight. Ian Martinez, a versatile player, puts 3 on the board. Osobor lost his sneaker, so that stops whatever break the Bulldogs are going to have, and Utah State will get back on D with a 14-8 lead. 5 team fouls on Fresno State, 1 on Utah State. The only Bulldog with multiples is Chase Courtney.
And that big man may have kicked his shoe off to get a little oxygen in there. Man, that's a big, strong guy. One heck of a player.
Osobor has been quite an addition to the conference this year. Coming over with Coach Danny Sprinkle from Montana State. Bulldogs on offense, down by 6. Hill, a hesitation dribble on the perimeter. Fires over to Weaver, left alone for 3, so he launches and airballs. Osobor able to grab it before it went out of bounds. I don't know if that just slipped out of his hands or wasn't lined up right or what.
Good question.
Isaac Taveras to the scorer's table as Martinez with a heat check, fires another 3, misses. Weaver the rebound for Fresno State. He accelerates across the timeline. Weaver at the top of the arc, now gets it to Pope on the right wing, right back to Weaver, matched up with Osobor, fakes right, dribbles left, spins into the big man, down to Courtney. He tries the baseline jumper, comes up a little short, almost had the first bucket of his Bulldog career.
Good looking shot by Courtney, shot it with confidence.
Utah State leading by 6. They get Isaac Johnson in the high post, down to Osobor, spinning past Courtney, left-hand layup good. The quick first step of Great Osobor, and Justin Hudson says, I need a timeout. Utah State has built its biggest lead, 16-8, and Coach Hudson takes time with 12:27 remaining in this first half. The timeout brought to you by Table Mountain Casino Resort. Have a lucky day followed by an epic night, only at Table Mountain Casino Resort.
I guess that wasn't my call that time.
Well, I thought it was.
Oh, you did?
I was waiting.
Well, I'm
12:27 remaining in the first half at the Save Mart Center with Coach Mark Q. Jones. I'm Paul Leffler. We're brought to you on the radio and the Mountain West Network simulcast by Golden Eagle Charter. We're looking for a motor coach or executive transportation. Trust Golden Eagle Charter, proud partner of Fresno State Athletics. Isaac Taveras, the true freshman from the Dominican Republic, into the game
Here you go.
First time. Little give and go to the rim. Missed the layup.
My, I should have dunked it.
They had the opportunity. Little give and go with Colomario, but couldn't quite finish at the rim. Now Utah State trying to capitalize. Falslev attacking the basket. A lot of contact. No whistle. Tipped around. Osobor had it. Lost it. Utah State comes up with it. Falslev right wing, finds Martinez right baseline corner. Osobor trying to post up. Instead of skip pass to Brown left side. Now up top Falslev. Spinning past Taveras. falls down in the lane, scoops it up, and it went, and Randy Richardson calls a foul on Taveras for tripping him. Is he giving him continuation in the bucket or no? He's saying it's on the floor, and the Aggies will have it out of bounds. So if you're with us on the Mountain West Network.
Yeah, foot's tangled up a little bit.
16-8, Utah State on top. They get it into Osabor, right baseline, spinning on Colomario. The help D didn't matter, but his layup, no good. So maybe the help D from Hill did help a little bit.
It rushed him.
Now Hill attacking, puts it up in traffic and got it past Ian Martinez. Off balance, Isaiah Hill with a little English on that shot.
Yeah, nice move, and they need to get him going to get some offense coming out of his direction.
That slows down what had been a 7-0 Aggie run. Now Martinez loses it, going to the hoop. Hill trying to save it, can't. It'll be Utah State basketball with 18 on the shot clock. 11:26 remaining here in the first half.
What scares you to death if you're Fresno State is at the ease of Utah State to get to the bucket. And if you're Utah State, you got to be happy that their guards can get to the hole.
11:20 to go first half. Falslev with it right wing. Bounces down low to Osabor, who probably, if he spun to the hoop, had a bucket instead. He brings it back out. Now Falslev penetrating right wing. Tried to get it inside to Osabor, but Isaiah Pope got his hand on the pass, and it's another turnover. Here comes Ducell up the right wing. Ducell checked by Javon Jackson. They bring it around the perimeter to Hill, left wing. Hill, cross-court Taveras, up top against Martinez. A couple right-handed dribbles for Isaac. Reverses to Colomario. Isaiah Pope now from the top of the arc. Switches on to Osabor. Reversal to Hill with 7 to shoot 6. Driving on Brown, and then blocked by Brown as he tried to scoop it with the left hand. Out of bounds to Fresno State with 4 on the shot clock.
Well, you know, Brown's so strong and athletic that it's, you know, even when you beat him, sometimes you just got to beat him twice.
The inbound to Hill, fires away from 3 off balance, wouldn't drop. Jackson the rebound for Utah State. Aggies with the ball in a 6-point lead. Uduje left baseline corner against Pope. Back out on the wing, Jackson. Cross court to Brown against Hill. Osabor trying to post up against Colomario. They haven't gotten it to him yet. They find Brown in the corner right baseline. He didn't want the 3. Brown finds a cutting Uduje. Jump stop right baseline. Off balance jumper and air ball, but it bounces off of Taveras out of bounds, and the Aggies will keep it with 9 on the shot clock and a 6-point lead.
Well, they just, you know, the more that they can keep that tempo going where they can try to get Osabor tired, but these little breaks right here help him every time. So they just got to keep putting that pressure on and double team him on the offensive glass. Lob
inbound to Osabor near midcourt. 6 on the shot clock, 5. Osabor stops at the foul line. Wraps around a pass down to Martinez. Fades against Pope. The jumper wouldn't go, and Osabor pushes Colomario to the floor trying to get the rebound. So that'll be the first foul on the Aggie big man, Great Osabor. Only the second team foul on Utah State. Bulldogs have 6. Fresno State in this game at the midway point of the first half, despite not having any true bigs, any true post players, and having a very short bench tonight. 16-10 Aggies to score.
That big guy ran out of auction. They had to put him on the bench, but boy, he's been playing hard. Now the Dogs have got to try to find a way. I think they can get into the paint, Pablo, and make something happen off dribble penetration.
Osabor taking his first breather, and Khalifa Sacco, the junior from Rouen, France, in his place. He's extremely athletic. If you watch pregame warm-ups, Sacco can really get up. Here's Hill driving past Sacco, jump stop, left block, finds a cutting Pope. It's double clutch layup with a little spin, wouldn't drop, and Sacco the rebound for Utah State. Martinez trying to overpower Hill. Now it's back up top for Brown against Pope. To the right wing, Uduje driving on Weaver. Reversal to Brown. Skip pass to the left baseline corner, Martinez. He tried to thread it into the post for Sacco. Stolen by Weaver. Weaver one-on-one with Jackson. Euro step. Puts it up. No good. Gets his own board. Rejected by Sacco. There's that athleticism I was just talking about.
Big time block. Nice timing.
And now a travel by Uduje. We're turning it back over to Fresno State with 9:15 on the clock. The Aggies lead just 6 at 16-10.
You know, they put the big guy that they had in, big, powerful. Now they bring in a guy that's super athletic. You got to be aware that even when Hill tried to penetrate into the paint against him, that it was just he stayed with him the whole time. So the Dogs got to really continue to set hard picks to get some good looks.
Fresno State down by 6 at the 9-minute mark first half. A low-scoring first half so far. The Bulldogs just 4 of 18. The Aggies 7 of 15. A 3 by Hill, no good, but he ends up with his own rebound. Saw it was going to be short, followed his shot a little bit. And another chance for the Bulldogs. Colomario up top, hands off to Ducell, finds a cutting Leo in the paint. He elevates over Uduje, missed it, and Uduje the rebound. Leo just didn't have the touch.
You can't do much more than that but go out there and score it for him. So he's got to finish those buckets.
8.5 minutes to play, first half. Dogs have missed 7 straight shots and 12 of 13. The Aggies have missed 4 in a row. Not exactly an offensive exhibition so far. Brown finds Martinez. He drives in on Ducell from the left wing, had it knocked loose, got it back. Martinez puts it up off the window, no. Isaiah Pope flies to the rim for the rebound. Nice block out there by Leo against the 7-footer.
Yeah, they're doing the things to stay in this game to try to figure out how to win it.
And now Pope splitting a double team, draws a foul on Uduje. That'll be his first personal, third team. If Fresno State can put the ball in the basket, the Dogs can make this a game, but they've missed 7 in a row and 12 of 13.
And some of that is the rushing, right? Because of the big guys are in there. They close out well. Just take your time. Get a little shot fake. Get them up in the air and maybe get to the free throw line.
Hill, the trigger man, still looking to get it in. Running out of time, finally finds Colomario. He dribbles in against Sacco, jump stop in the lane. Hands off to Weaver, lost the ball, got it back. Now back high on the right side to Hill with 12 to shoot. Hill switches onto the big man Sacco, crossing over, drives past him. The lefty scoop won't go, but a foul called on Khalifa Sacco will send Isaiah Hill to the foul line when we return.
You like the move by Hill, right? Get inside, get nifty. Got the, he's got a foul on that one, so you want to keep getting into that paint, trying to get some scores up.
7:56 to go in a low-scoring first half at the Save Mart Center. Number 22, Utah State leads at 16-10 over Fresno State. It's Fresno State basketball from Learfield. Back here at the Save Mart Center, 7:56 remaining in the first half, and a 16-10 lead for the 22nd ranked Aggies of Utah State. The Aggies 7 of 16 from the floor, out rebounding the Bulldogs 16-10. Fresno State hanging in there despite making just 4 out of 20 shots. Bulldogs have only turned it over twice, and they've taken it away 6 times from the Aggies. Isaiah Hill will be the recipient of the first 2 Bulldog free throws tonight. The senior point guard rattles home the first. We're brought to you tonight by SeatGeek, now the official ticket partner of Fresno State Athletics. Whether you're buying or selling basketball tickets, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek, so Bulldog fans can fan. Hill makes them both, so the Bulldogs within 4, 7:56 to go, and here's the press, little 2-2-1 zone press by Fresno State.
Slows the game up a little bit for them. Don't have to defend in the half court long and keep getting those turnovers. That's what's keeping Fresno State in this game and preventing the Aggies from dominating it.
Dogs playing a little zone, and Hill knocks the ball away. Now a break, 2-on-1, Pope and Weaver. Pope jumps into the chest of Uduje and finishes at the rim. Fresno State within 2, 16-14.
Smart decision by Pope. Don't take the chance on the pass. Jump in his chest, wrinkle his vest, finish at the rim.
16-14 Utah State. Fresno State staying in the 2-3 zone. Falslev trying to figure it out. Back to Brown right side. Brown still looking. Osibor in the high post. They haven't gotten it to him yet. Now Falslev penetrating. Fires it over to the left sideline for Uduje. Shot clock at 5. Uduje against Pope with 4. Uduje for 3. Off the rim, no. And we've got a foul. Colomario was holding Osibor back to prevent him from getting the offensive board. And that's going to be Leo's second personal, 7th team foul. So that means Osibor will head to the line for a 1-and-1.
And you can see Fresno State's strategy coming out of that they want to get that press going, get down into a zone, make Utah State use clock and throw over high hands. So meaning you can't throw a crisp pass out to a shooter. The pass will be high, right? So it makes it difficult. Nice adjustment by the Dogs.
Osibor misses the front end of the 1-and-1, and a good box out by Pope to tip it to Ducell. So the Bulldogs can tie or take the lead here against the 22nd ranked team in the country, despite missing all their size and a lot of their bench. Hill bounce pass to Colomario.
Oh! Boing Tejada! Oh, my goodness. Yes.
Matt Liever, a.k.a. Worm, the public address announcer, repeating what we just said in Brazilian Portuguese, Leo's native tongue. Boing Tejada for slam dunk. A tie game at 16 apiece. Utah State trying to answer. Brown top of the arc. Looking inside instead. Finds Jackson in the corner. 3 on the way. No good. Osobor had position. Didn't get the ball. Bulldogs have it. And Colomario throws it away. Leo got up in the air. You're not supposed to get up in the air and pass.
Don't jump and pass. That's the key thing. But let me tell you something right now that's happening in Utah State. And I wonder if their staff sees it and will adjust from it. Osobor is now stagnant, right? He's not moving as heavy. And that's what happens sometimes when you play a zone against a big guy like that. They quit being aggressive. So it's worked so far for the Dogs now that they're back in man, though.
It's been fun watching Leo Colomario embrace the challenge tonight. Falslev right baseline, got up in the air before finding Brown right side. Over to Aduje, back to Falslev right sideline. Driving on Colomario, Mason Falslev spinning. Isaiah Hill grabbed him, and finally there's the foul call. No, a travel call. The Dogs getting physical with Falslev, who felt he was fouled. Certainly Danny Sprinkle did as well. He's slapping his arm saying, guys, you didn't see any of that? And the answer is no, they didn't.
And you can see the big man from Utah State, Osobor. He's allowing himself to be blocked out by Weaver. Weaver did an outstanding job. They're nullifying that advantage by the Ags, so the Dogs are starting to win it.
16 apiece our score. Fresno State looking for the lead. Ducel's 3 comes up short off the front iron. The Bulldogs have not led yet. But now a travel on Uduje turns it back to Fresno State. 9 turnovers in the first half for a Utah State team that only averages 11 a game on the season.
What a turn of events. When the game started, they were just dominating, getting the ball to the interior, getting anything they wanted. A couple of adjustments by the Dogs have made it turn into their advantage, and it's a tie ball game with less than 5 left.
Isaiah Hill, the senior point guard, takes it left wing, dribbles toward the middle, fires over to Pope. Reversal to Hill up top against the big man Osobor. Couple dribbles, a little hesitation. Step back 3, left of center, off the rim of the glass. No, but Colomario bats it out of there. Ducel had it. Osobor knocked it away. Weaver goes over and back to Ducel, and there's the call. It was a scramble for a loose ball, but Weaver had it in the front court, threw it into the back court. That's what Mike Reed and Michael Irving are asking about, and they might go to the monitor. No. They'll say it was over and back, and it was right in front of us. We had the perfect view. There might have been a foul there on Ducel, but
that was easy.
Definitely was
that was easy. Yeah. A lot of stuff you can talk about, but that one's just
pretty clear cut.
Yeah.
16 apiece the score. 5:10 to go in the first half. They're letting them play. Darius Brown off the pick and roll, reverses up top to Jackson. Osobor trying to post up. It comes to Aduje, and a left baseline 3 is in. Josh Uduje with 5. The Aggies 2 of 6 from downtown, and they're back in front 19-16.
Well, they just got to keep holding strong if you're Fresno State out there.
Hill working the pick and roll with Colomario. Leo down there against Brown, but they couldn't get it to him. Back up top to Hill, matched up on the big man Osobor. Now he tries to take him off the dribble. Weaves his way down to the left block and puts it back out on the perimeter. Pope up top now with 6 to shoot. Driving, switches on to Jackson, and a foul. Pope used that right forearm to clear space, but Randy Richardson saying that Jackson fouled him before that. So the Bulldogs will get it out of bounds after the 5th team foul on Utah State.
Yeah, they keep switching Osobor onto Hill, and Hill's trying to take advantage of that. I like that they moved off of it, went into a different set, and Pope came off that screen ready to go.
19-16 Aggies. Bulldogs with it in the half court. Colomario had it knocked away by Osobor, but Hill comes up with a loose ball. Hill gets to the baseline, gets fouled by Brown. That's the jump stop you're talking about, Coach.
Yeah, you got to get in there and get them up in the air, control the tempo, keep the score low, make them nervous, right? Put your press on, make them lose a lot of clock. They're getting the rhythm that they need. They couldn't find that against San Diego State, but this game they figured that out.
Utah State, one of the better offensive teams in the country, comes in averaging close to 80 points a game. The Aggies have been held to just 19 in the first almost 16 minutes of the ball game as Hill misses his first free throw. One more coming for the senior out of Bakersfield. The Bulldogs just 6 of 24 from the floor, but down by 1 possession.
Well, they've gotten Utah State to stay close to them, right?
That's it.
Yeah, that's the secret here.
Second free throw good, 19-17 Aggies. Just over 4 minutes to go. Left baseline corner, Falslev driving on Hill. There's that spin move, got up in the air, fired back up top for Uduje, and his three again goes in. Josh Uduje with a couple big threes. He's got 8. That British connection of Osobor and Uduje has 18 of the Aggies' 22, and it's a 5-point lead for the visitors.
Well, what they're looking at is they just realize they're going to have to shoot those perimeter threes, and if they start making them, Fresno State's going to have to make another adjustment.
Colomario goes up in the air to catch an errant lob from Hill, saves it to Pope. Now Hill's got it again left wing against Osobor. Shot clock at 10. Hill crossover dribble, bounce pass back through the lane, and it's kicked by the Aggies out of bounds. The Dogs will have it with 7 to shoot when we come back. Darius Brown, livid, insistent that it's off of Fresno State. They'll have this timeout and may look at the monitor to see. 3:32 remaining in the first half. The Aggies lead the Bulldogs 22-17. Fresno State basketball from Learfield. Not exactly a barn burner at the Bulldogs barn tonight. 22-17 in favor of the 22nd ranked Aggies of Utah State. With Coach Mark Q. Jones and Taylor Martinez, I'm Paul Leffler. We're brought to you tonight by A&M Flooring and Design Center, the name you've trusted since 1940 for all your flooring needs. And by Bulldog Bread, the official NIL collective of Fresno State Athletics. To support student athletes, visit Bulldog Bread, BREAD.com. So it is Fresno State basketball. No change of that call despite Darius Brown's protests. Bulldogs inbounding with 7 to shoot. Comes to Isaiah Pope, driving on Uduje. Up with the left hand, no good. Rebounded by Osobor of Utah State.
That's, again, the jump stop. Make those guys foul, you get to the line. That's going to be your recipe for success.
Dogs haven't made a basket in the last 3.5 minutes, but they're in this game down by just 5. Osobor trying to bull his way underneath and get position. The Aggies couldn't get it into him. Now Uduje driving, jumps into the chest of Colomario, missed it. A fight for it. Pope had it. Osobor wrestled it free, and Pope ends up with it. 22-17 at the 3-minute mark.
This physical game is bidding well for Fresno State.
They've been able to jump things up a little bit and throw the Aggies off a rhythm. Weaver with a crossover, jump stop right of the lane, back out to Pope. Cross court it comes for Hill, 30 feet out left side with 5 to shoot. Switches on to Jackson, 4, 3. Zay's going to have to do something. Puts up a wild one and makes it with a foul. Hill down the left side of the lane, drew contact, forced it up awkwardly at a tough short angle to kiss it off the window. He's got a chance at a 3-point play that can make it a 2-point game.
Got the switch off with the guard. Hill shows a lot of confidence. Right off the back, a little shake and bake, crossover. Gets there, pauses a half a second, doesn't shot fake it, but just goes through him. Gets it to fall, gets the foul. The Dogs learned something on Saturday night. They're applying it today. They're playing more physical in the interior and trying to do a better job of taking care of the ball and getting good shots on the offensive end.
And Hill made the free throw, so the Bulldogs are down just 2 with 2.5 minutes to go in this first half. A lot of surprised viewers all over America with the 22nd ranked Aggies, who've only lost 5 times all year, getting quite a fight from Fresno State tonight. Falslev right wing with 10 to shoot, working on Hill, hands off to Uduje. He's been hot, pulls up from the elbow jumper and drains it. Josh Uduje joins Osobor in double digits with 10. Aggies by 4.
Well, that's a tough two players to try to deal with on the offensive end.
Uduje might be the best athlete on Utah State's team.
He can, with the ball for sure, because that center they got is a good athlete as well.
I mean, just pure athleticism. And now Osobor showing his athleticism, well, a steal behind the back dribble, two-hand dunk. Okay, Coach, I can see. That's a great athlete right there.
Give the big guy a little credit, man. Nice play by him. The Dogs got to take better care of the ball. But that was nifty.
26-20 Utah State, a dozen for Osobor on 6 of 7 shooting. He's added 6 rebounds as well. Big possession for the Bulldogs, down by 6. Hill over to Pope left wing, driving on Uduje. Gets to the foul line, kicks it back out to Hill between the rings. Hill's got 8 to lead the way for Fresno State. He's just 2 of 8 from the floor, hasn't made a 3 yet. Driving past Osobor, lefty scoop, got it. That time he put the big man on skates.
He said, hey, let me show you what I got. Did an outstanding job. Hill's got to stay in attack mode. Maybe that's their offense tonight for a while until Utah State adjusts.
10 for Hill. Bulldogs down 4 on their home floor against a nationally ranked opponent, and now a whistle away from the ball that's going to give Utah State free throws. Randy Richardson says Isaiah Pope was getting too physical, so that's going to give a 1-and-1 to the Aggies. And his team foul number 8. Oh, they called it on Hill, pardon me. It's on the Mountain West Network. Another look at that killer crossover by Hill.
Finishes with the left hand, uses the rim as a little bit of protection there. Nice finish by Hill.
It was Osabor who was fouled. The foul on Hill is his second. He joins Courtney and Colomario with 2 apiece. Osabor missed the front end of a 1-and-1 earlier. He swishes this time. He's got 13, and the Aggies have a 5-point lead with 51 seconds to play.
And, you know, you look at what's happening out there. They're going to have to physically push Hill to keep going because he's going to be tired if he's going to be called on to come off that pick and roll and score all night. I think he's up for it, but you just got to keep an eye on him.
Osabor made them both 6-point Aggie lead. Hill looking to attack again against Jackson. Now he brings it back out on the perimeter. Over to Ducell. Catch and shoot 3. Right of center. There's the first one. A deep 3 brought to you by Save Mart, serving Fresno in the Central Valley for over 70 years. Save Mart, Valley Fresh, Valley Made, Valley Proud. That was pretty. It
was pretty great because Hill's been burning them off the pick and roll. They suck in deeper to help. Now you leave your shooter open in the X-Man.
And they got it quick enough to have a 2-for-1 on possession before the end of the half. There's a 6-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Martinez all the way to the basket, and a blocking foul called on Isaiah Pope is going to send Martinez to the line for 2. Pope trying to draw the charge, and Michael Irving said nope.
Yeah, I think that's the right call.
I would agree.
Martinez with big-time move to the hole.
Martinez, another fabulous athlete, transferring from Maryland in the Big Ten. He's had a solid year for a team that's just had a spectacular year in Logan. 3-point game with 13 seconds left in the half, and Martinez knocks down the first. Danny Sprinkle gets Osabor off the floor, make sure he doesn't pick up his second foul before half, and Khalifa Sacco back in. Martinez trying to put the lead back to 5. He did. So now the Bulldogs have 13 seconds to try to get points before halftime.
Penetrate pitch. Let's see what the X-Man can do if he gets the pitch.
8 seconds, 7. Hill around a Colomario screen with 5, with 4. Matched up on the shot blocker, Sacco. Step back 3 ball. Off the rim, no. Rebound, Falslev. And the half ends with the Aggies ahead by 5, 30-25. But Coach Q, Fresno State, did just about everything you could possibly expect the Dogs to do defensively in half number 1.
Yeah, and I hope they have some masseuses down there for the big man because he's taking a punishment down on the block. And he's fighting, Colomario's fighting hard, but he's going to be physically tired. Same with Hill.
Bulldogs force 9 first-half turnovers. Taylor Martinez is going to catch up with assistant coach Von Webb to talk about that first half. Taylor?
Coach, this is one of the best offenses in the nation that you're facing. They came in averaging nearly 80 points. You held them under 31 points for only the 4th time this season. What's working for you on defense?
Well, we're switching up our defenses, and we're playing some zone, playing some man. We're being a little more physical, and we need to do a better job on the rebounding end. If we do, we'll be even better the second half.
We saw your offense start flowing towards the end of the half. How do you continue that in the second half?
Well, that's what it is. We got to play together, set screens, help each other, move the ball, look for opportunity, look for mismatches, look for opportunity to go score the ball. And if we can find the open man, we got to find open man to make shots. We missed way too many shots early.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Taylor. And now at the Save Mart Center, Break the Barriers taking center stage. Time for the second half of the Save Mart Center. Fresno State made it competitive in the first half. The Bulldogs forcing 9 turnovers, getting out in transition every once in a while. And they're down just 5 against the 22nd ranked team in the country, the Utah State Aggies, with a Conference Player of the Year candidate, Great Osabor. Bulldogs get it first in the second half in their red uniforms against the Aggies in white. We're brought to you by Pepsi, the only drink for basketball watching. Pepsi, that's what I like. Official partner of Fresno State Athletics. And on the drive, a whistle. Now, I guess I messed that up.
On the lob.
Well,
the whistle.
The whistle on the lob, yeah. And when I said Pepsi is the only drink for basketball watching, I know that, Taylor. My apologies. I didn't mean to
Well,
Steal your Pepsi.
What I like is starting out of halftime with an aggressive play to the basket. Leo gets fouled on the lob attempt, gets the big man in a foul situation. Great design coming out of halftime by Coach Hutt.
Something that they did a lot when they had Enoch Boachi healthy, and they've gone away from because they didn't have anyone big enough to execute it. But Leo said, hey, I've got some springs, so throw it to me down there. Made the first free throw, and he gets them both. So the Bulldogs have made it a one-possession game. 12 seconds into the second half, and now a little pressure. 2-2-1. The Aggies cross the timeline. Falslev open in the corner, now dribbles in and lays it up and in past Dussel, then hits the ground hard. Falslev came down awkwardly, and he's shaken up.
Doesn't want to come out of the game. Tough guy. Maybe got his wind knocked out of him, got hit, in his ribs. Especially when you're stretched out that going up for a shot and you get hit. Makes you appreciate the boxers a lot more.
Well, the Bulldogs have landed a few blows in this physical match with the 22nd ranked Aggies tonight. We're brought to you tonight by Bud Light. On game day and every day, Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. So they had that design play with the lob on the first possession. Let's see what the Bulldogs do this time. The perimeter handoff to Dussel. Up top for Colomario, still looking. There's the handoff to Hill, who curls into the lane. Tried the lob again, but it's deflected, and Colomario catches it. Finds a cutting Dussel, fading jumper, good. From 7 feet out, Xavier Dussel puts it in. He's got 7. Bulldogs within 3 again.
Well, you like that. He finds his rhythm on the cut. They didn't let the tip ball prevent him from continuing to play. Nice action.
32-29, Utah State on top. A minute into the second half. Falslev right wing against Hill. Dribbles toward the middle. Osibor posting up down low. Colomario fronting him in the post. He comes back to Falslev left wing. He drives down the lane, crashes into Pope. The feed to the corner with Duje, setting the feet to the 3. Missed it. Kept alive by Falslev, but Weaver has it for Fresno State.
Nice defensive possession by the Dogs.
Weaver attacking Osibor, gets to the rim and lays it in for 2. Osibor didn't want to commit the foul, and Jalen Weaver's aggression brings the Dogs within 1.
You got to tell you guys at halftime, if you're Fresno State, you got to finish at the basket, no more fading.
And Coach going into the game, we talked to Coach Hudson about having nothing to lose. The Dogs double the post and knock it away. Colomario was battling with Osibor for position, so neither one of them had balance, and Hill knifed in and knocked it away. Coach Hutt said they have nothing to lose, Coach, and they're playing like it.
Yeah, have a little fun out there. Make it difficult for a ranked team. Get a big upset on your home floor.
You saw Air Force, the last place team, beat New Mexico at the pit over the weekend. Osibor again being fronted in the post by Colomario. Brown couldn't get it to him. Now Falslev against Hill. Step back to beat the shot clock. The 3 no good, but Osibor offensive rebound. Powers back up, missed it. Loose ball, Osibor gets it again, stripped, and it's out of bounds. They called a foul. So Randy Richardson blows the whistle, calls that on Leo Colomario. That'll be his 3rd. It's on the floor, so the Aggies will get it out of bounds.
Well, the Dogs are trying to fight that guy. He's got really long arms, and he's got great timing.
Chase Courtney played some important minutes in the first half. He'll spell Colomario, who's got those 3 fouls.
Yeah.
You look at Osibor, Coach, and you wonder, is he one of those guys who 3-4 years from now, his body's going to be even more chiseled and he's going to be able to play longer and even have more burst?
Well, as the great Eddie Fudge told me, he was a fight trainer, trained Frazier. He said, your body don't have to look good, but you got to have the skills. I think he'll have the skills.
He already does.
Yeah.
Right of the lane, Osibor double team. Sees Brown on the baseline, gets it to him. Brown backing downhill, puts it up in traffic, got it in a foul. Darius Brown, the 6th-year senior, one of the more physical guards in the conference, and he has a shot at a 3-point play.
And who they call that on?
Haven't seen who it was assessed to yet. If it's on Hill, it would be his 3rd. Brown nails the free throw. He's a fantastic foul shooter, and the Aggies lead is 4. 17:45 to go, second half. The foul was on Chase Courtney, his 3rd.
Well, they're going to get their money's worth out of Chase.
He's played hard tonight.
Yes, he has.
Pope has it left wing against Brown, slapping at the basketball. The reversal to Weaver, now to Hill. Hill matched up with the big Osibor again. Courtney was coming to set a screen. Hill didn't want it. Now he blows by Osibor, floats it up in the paint, makes it. That quick first step, and Isaiah Hill's got a dozen.
Yeah, smart decision by Hill, taking advantage. Took his time and then exploded off of him, and nice touch in the paint. those paint touches are going to really help the Dogs if this game stays close. Whoa.
And now a foul. Isaiah Hill was trying to keep Brown from getting deep position, and he's called for the foul. That'll be his third. So 3 each now on Courtney, Colomario, and Hill. The Aggies get it out of bounds. Their lead just 2.
Yeah, so you look at that. If they keep running that action against Hill, you're going to have to get a switch on him.
And the Dogs lose sight of Isaac Johnson, who gets one of the easiest buckets of all time. A 2-foot pass from Brown on the inbounds and a layup for Isaac Johnson. 37-33 Aggies. Ducell launching the deep 3 left side. Off the front iron, no. Brown the rebound. Osibor running the floor, but Brown didn't want to take the chance. Now he lobs it down to him, but Osibor looked like he pushed Ducell away. They call it on Ducell.
That big guy is really skilled. If you notice, what he did was he ran down the middle, stopped it around where the old dots would be under the free throw line, and just posted. And his guard, Brown, knows him well enough to say, hey, that's where I'm going to hit you right there with enough space to catch and finish. Ducell had no other choice but to try to do something and hold on.
And when Osibor was trying to shed Ducell, Xavier called for his first personal. 4 team fouls this half on the Dogs, 1 on the Aggies. And again, same play, other side. Johnson misses the layup. They got him that point-blank look again. Pierre Geneste in the ball game. Got a piece of the basketball, but now Isaiah Pope comes out of that scramble with it. Isaiah Pope, pass Martinez to the rim. Got it. Past the outstretched hand of Osibor. Great Osibor, unable to deny Isaiah Pope.
Well, you look at what's happening with Hut's teams. They're really tonight. They're scoring off of turnovers, which is excellent.
Isaiah Pope up to 7 points. Here's Osibor going to work underneath. Blocked by Geneste. The reverse layup blocked by Geneste. Fresno State can tie the game here. Weaver penetrating behind for Geneste. Now over to Pope, left wing. Pope wants a 3 and the lead around the rim and out. And the rebound to Aduje. That would have been Fresno State's first lead all night. They bounce it down to Osibor against Geneste, and there's the hard foul. Osibor will have free throws when we come back. But you think a little nervous energy is starting to penetrate that Aggie huddle, Coach?
Yeah, and that's why you want to keep it close, right? To get those guys who've been scoring a lot of points, get them uncomfortable, and I think the Dogs have them in that position right now.
Well, Fresno State fighting to the finish against Utah State. 15:55 to go in the second half. Isaiah Pope's energy helping the Dogs, and they're within 2, 37-35 in favor of the 22nd ranked Aggies. Fresno State basketball from their field. Well, a little entertainment at the Save Mart Center tonight. 15:55 remaining in the second half. Break the barriers brought down the house at halftime, and the Bulldogs trying to bring down the number 22 team in the nation. Mountain West leading Utah State, getting all it can handle. Fouls are an issue, though, Coach Q. 5 team fouls in the second half for Fresno State. 3 different Bulldogs with 3 apiece.
Well, you got to give Fresno State the advantage right now in terms of the pace of the game. They're playing at the pace that they think they can win it and steal it at the end. But the Ag still got that big guy at the free throw line. He's hard to deal with. He should have stayed on the line that time. He faded back early and missed it.
He's a 66% foul shooter on the year. He may be there a lot in the second half. Dogs may employ a little hack-a-shack action. Here's Hill with the elbow jumper, a little short. Tipped out of there by Weaver with a great effort, but he can't go save it on the sideline. And Utah State has it back, leading 38-35.
Well, you look at Weaver. He's starting to feel comfortable letting that athleticism shine out there. He's going to have to keep doing all that type of stuff. He's got a tough guard to defend today.
Darius Brown to the elbow, bounces down. Osibor just overpowers Colomario, and that's one thing about Osibor. Both hands, he's really skilled at finishing around the rim.
You got to like how he, when he's playing and he posts up and still like that, he's just virtually impossible to stop.
Even when you have your biggest guys
yeah.
who are all hurt for Fresno State. Here's Pope down the lane, a wild Euro step, reverse layup. Boy, that may be the shot of the night. Isaiah Pope with some serious RPMs on the English on that basketball.
Yeah, well, that was a really Iceman-type finger roll.
But Isaac Johnson coming on strong in the second half. The 7-footer drills a left wing 3 for the Aggies, so they extend to a 6-point lead, their biggest of the second half, 43-37.
Got to keep fighting, trying to make it difficult for them to score for Fresno State.
Weaver between the circles. Gets it to Ducell. Martinez slapping it away. A lot of contact there, no whistle. Comes to Pope left wing. He's matched up with Osibor, the big man. Pope facing him up. Gets rid of it to Ducell. Pushing it in on Martinez, the fading jumper, got the roll. So Ducell forcing his way into the paint and hitting a tough contested shot.
Really nice play by him, shooting tough shots.
But the other way, Osibor, the catch and the dunk.
Oh, he's
hurting.
Osibor, he's gotten a cramp.
He might be cramping. He's taking a timeout.
He can't do it.
No, it looked like he was signaling a timeout. Here's Hill. The Dogs have 5-on-4. Osibor's on the other end of the floor. Weaver for 3, missed it, and a missed opportunity for the Bulldogs. They had 5-on-4 but couldn't score. Osibor is in the backcourt getting hydrated to try to cure those cramps.
Wow.
He couldn't call timeout because they didn't have the ball,
They didn't have
course.
the ball.
And he was trying anyway. .14:03 to go. Aggies have the ball, leading by 6, 45-39. They've subbed out Osibor and are working out the cramp in that left leg. Utah State is 6 of 11 since halftime. The Dogs have shot it much better, 6 of 10. Brown off the bounce, and you know when he wants to get his shot, he finds it.
Yeah, he can make shots at the right time to help his team. Came off that nice and easy.
The Aggies match their biggest lead of the game at 8, 47-39. Pope catches underneath. Back out on the perimeter it comes for Weaver, and now cross court to Hill. Hill switches on to Martinez. Left wing. Colomario rolling to the hoop. Couldn't get it to him. Comes around the perimeter. Pope against the 7-footer Johnson. Behind the back dribble. Pope knifing his way into the paint. Fading 12-footer. In and out. Was halfway down. Didn't drop. And here come Brown and the Aggies trying to get their first double-digit lead of the game. Johnson, the 7-footer, posting up on the 6'5 Pope. They couldn't get it to him. Brown between the circles against Colomario. 13 minutes to play. Aggies by 8. And an offensive foul. Isaac Johnson pushing off on Pope. Turns it over to Fresno State.
The Pope's in there fighting hard, but he's got all that hair, so those hits look worse than they can be.
it reverberates through the curls.
Yes, it does. The 7-footers,
reason to have the big hair.
Yeah, the 7-footers go, hey, I didn't do anything.
47-39 Aggies, under 13 minutes to go. Ducell couldn't get the 3 off. Couple dribbles, now a step back top of the key. 3 is good. Xavier Ducell coming on strong. He's got a dozen. Bulldogs back within 5.
He's being more assertive out there, and it's really benefiting the Dogs on the offensive end.
Isaac Johnson passes on a 3, now puts it on the floor. He throws it up against Colomario, a wild one, an air ball, and the Dogs want to run. Pope across the timeline. Isaiah Pope dishes to Weaver, to the corner. Hill, 3 on the way. Yes! Isaiah Hill brings Fresno State within 2. Hill up to 15 points, 47-45 Utah State.
Well, perfect pass break for the Dogs. Driving down the middle, Hill fades when he doesn't get it early, gets behind the...
Duje misses from 3, and Weaver gets the loose ball, saves it to Ducell. Go ahead, Taylor.
I asked him why he wears number 5. His family is originally from Detroit, and they were big Fab 5 fans, so he's actually named after Jalen Rose.
How about that? You know that, Coach Q?
I did not know that.
And Jalen Weaver is right-handed. So is Xavier Ducell. His 3 that would have given the Dogs their first lead goes off the rim of the glass, no good. The Aggies dodge a bullet and bring it back the other way. 11 minutes to play in regulation. A tie game in Fresno. Nobody saw this coming. Osibor, top of the arc against Colomario. Now they lob down low to Falslev, and he lays it up and in. So Utah State playing the matchup game, saying Osibor's not the only guy who can create some space inside.
Well, they're definitely looking to get Hill in some sort of foul trouble by posting him up.
Hill has 3 fouls, and he's been the catalyst offensively for Fresno State. Looked like he may have slid the feet there. No call. 49-47 Aggies, 10.5 minutes to go. Bulldogs with the ball in the half court. Hill against the big man Osibor, 25 feet away. Angling right with the bounce, decides to launch the triple. In and out. Colomario knocks it away from the Aggies, but Falslev tracks it down. Again, that 3 would have given the Dogs the lead and was halfway down. Now they go back to Osibor underneath, but they get the ball into Martinez, right of the lane. Back out to Falslev right side, and up top Brown. Osibor posting Colomario. Leo fighting down there. Now Osibor has it. Colomario knocked it loose. Pope dives to save it, and Pope just rolled his ankle. Isaiah Pope is in serious pain. The one team that can't afford any more injuries has him coming left and right. Geneste dislocated a finger, and now Dr. Fritz Glazer running out to check on Isaiah Pope. So is the Bulldogs trainer, Juan Torres. And it was a hustle play for Pope, and it looked like maybe he got that right ankle tangled with Great Osibor.
Yeah, it's good to see the head coach come out there, check on him, and see what's going on. You know, that's playing hard like that. You're diving on the floor, you're going after it, which is what it's all about. Oh.
So it was the left ankle, and Osabor's right leg landed on it and twisted it. Sometimes that initial tweak is worse, feels worse than the injury actually is. And he's walking okay right now.
He's walking so-so right there. I mean, I wouldn't say he's okay. I think he's toughened it
better
up.
than you thought he would be when you saw the initial.
Yeah, that part I'd agree with. Yes.
So we'll see if Isaiah Pope is able to return. Taylor will track down the latest on that and report back to us. Meanwhile, it's a 2-point game, 49-47 at the 10-minute mark. The 22nd ranked Aggies have all the other contenders in the Mountain West closely tuned to this one. Fresno State another chance to tie or take the lead. Colomario attacking against Osabor, leans in, shoots over him and made him. A patient approach from Leo Colomario, and he's up to 11 in the game. Third dog in double digits. We're tied again, 49 all.
Now it becomes a chess match. Who do you like where?
Tavares back in the game, the Bulldog freshman. Uduje against him between the rings. Hands off to Martinez, driving on Ducell. Bounces down to Osabor. Tavares stole it. Here they come on the break. Chance to take the first lead. Tavares to the rim. The lefty layup. No. And Brown races the other way for Utah State. Brown the look away. His layup won't go. Offensive board. Osabor. He missed the putback, then knocked Colomario to the ground. And that's going to be Fresno State basketball as Osabor picks up his third personal.
Well, you look at that play, right? Tavares makes the steal happen, but on the comeback and defensive transition, he makes that guy rush it. So, you know, misses one, does two things right, one thing wrong. And so, you know, that's what you live with a freshman sometimes.
You know, it's interesting. Fresno State's a team whose hope tank should be a little low with everything the Dogs have gone through this year, all the injuries they've suffered, even more tonight. But the deeper this game goes, the more it appears Fresno State is energized by the way things are unfolding.
Yeah, I mean, they feel like they can win this game. The strategy is really on point.
Tie game, 49 apiece, 9 minutes to play. Weaver penetrating all the way to the rim. Layup good, and there it is. With 8:56 remaining in the second half, the Bulldogs have their first lead of the night.
Wow.
And Brown the blow by, blocked by Weaver.
Gotta go.
Jalen Weaver with the rejection, no foul call, and another transition opportunity. Hill penetrating. Ducell was trying to spot up for three. Now he drives on Jackson, dishes to Colomario, blocked from behind by Jackson. All ball. And now Uduje, hassled by Tavares in the backcourt, gets rid of it to Osabor. 51-49 Bulldogs, 8:20 remaining. What an effort by these undermanned and undersized Dogs.
Exciting game to be watching.
Darius Brown, the 6-year senior, lobs it down low to Osabor, and he lost it out of bounds, but a foul call. Colomario was trying to back up into him, and Leo just picked up his fourth personal, and it's number 7.5, so Osabor gets a 1-1.
Well, let's see if they go to Chase, what they do on the bench.
Osabor is just 3 for 6 at the foul line. He's a rebound away from a double-double. 19 points, 9 rebounds. That's pretty much his average.
Well, I wonder if they're going to trust Leo in there for this long, or are they going to give him a breather out of there?
Well, they do have the under 8-minute timeout coming soon, so maybe they trust him at least till then.
Well, I'm assuming that's what the thought process is.
And now what's going on? Are we going to get a timeout? Did somebody take a timeout? Or there's some blood on Uduje. So Utah State's Josh Uduje had some blood that needed to be taken care of. And they're going to go ahead and make this the media timeout. With 8:09 remaining, Fresno State, giant underdogs, blown out on their home floor last time out against San Diego State, leading the 22nd ranked Utah State Aggies with 8:09 to go. 51-49, Fresno State basketball from their field. Audio comes. 8:09 remaining in the second half at the Save Mart Center, and this Fresno State crowd energized by an impressive, dogged effort from the Fresno State Bulldogs, who have outplayed the Aggies in the second half and outscored them by 7 since halftime to lead by 2, 51-49. Taylor, I was going to ask you if you had an update on Isaiah Pope, but he just walked back out on the floor.
He did. He wanted to go back in. Let me tell you, he's got a lot of tape on that ankle, but he's going to finish out the game.
The Warrior spirit alive and well as Osibor drains the first free throw to earn a second. He can tie the game if he makes this one. It's another 20-point game for the transfer from Montana State. He followed Coach Danny Sprinkle to Logan. Missed it. Weaver the rebound. Bulldogs with the ball in a 1-point lead. 8 minutes to play, and they'll let Ducell bring it up here, Coach, and play Hill off the ball.
Yeah, do a little something different this time. Let's see what they run to get Hill a good look.
Ball comes to Pope at the top of the arc. Bounce pass feed for Ducell is kicked. They tried that old pocket pass trick, and that pocket, you never had that pocket where there's still stitches in it? Can't get your hand in?
Yeah.
I think that's what that pocket was right there.
You buy a new suit and it's stitched up.
That happened to me last week. 51-50 Bulldogs, 7:54 to go. We had the under 8-minute timeout at 8:09, so no stoppage here. Hill holding left wing, dribbles toward the middle, switches on to Osibor. Now the reversal to Pope. Ducell flashing through. Pope thought about a step-back three. Instead drives on Osibor, goes hard to the rim. Missed a point-blank range, trying to get to the line, and no whistle. Here comes Utah State with Darius Brown.
Wow, they got Pope guarding the big man.
Pope banging with Osibor underneath. Brown has it up top. Pope is really battling. Great Osibor. Uduje catches at the elbow. His pass deflected by Tavares. Gets through to Falslev. Falslev, little Euro step, and a foul called. Fans wanted to travel. Mike Reed says that's a foul on Tavares. That'll be his second. Team's 8th this half, and Mason Falslev will head to the line.
You know, sometimes when you play a team that's used to scoring a lot of points and you can keep the game close and keep the low scoring, that's when that panic button kind of hits, right? Because it's a fight each possession. There's no real flow to the game.
And it was a shooting foul. So he gets 2. He makes the first. Falslev just a 61% foul shooter this year. But the Aggies have tied it at 51, now trying to recapture the lead. 8 team fouls this half on the Dogs, just 3 on Utah State. Falslev rattles it home. He's got 5. Aggies back on top by a point. It's about as small as Fresno State will ever play. No one taller than 6'5" on the floor for Fresno State.
They're playing with 7-foot hearts.
No one taller than 6'5", if I didn't say that correctly. Hill driving on Brown, jump stop right block. Had Osibor up in the air on the help D, but didn't take advantage. Now Tavares knifing down the lane.
Oh!
Layup good. And a foul. Couldn't hear the whistle. It got so loud in the Save Mart Center, but Uduje called for the foul as Isaac Tavares using that explosive first step to get to the rim.
Look at it on Mountain West Network. We call him down here in Fresno El Electrico. He brings the juice for you.
And he can give Fresno State a 2-point lead if he makes the free throw. The freshman from the Dominican Republic had to be away from the team for 2 games, mourning the loss of his grandmother back home. His foul shot won't go. Osibor the rebound. And a 1-point Bulldog lead with 6:45 to play. Falslev top of the arc. Back to Uduje left wing against Tavares. Now it comes to Osibor, over to Falslev right wing. They find Brown top of the arc. Shot clock into single digits. He curls around the Osibor screen and fouled by Weaver. Banks it in. What a shot by Brown. He got around the screen, then put on the brakes, and Weaver, I think, took the back of Brown's head to his mouth. Yeah. So the injuries continue to mount for Fresno State. Jalen Weaver was fighting through that screen, and all of a sudden, the car trying to pull away from him had stopped, and it's way into a second half lead. But Brown converts at the line, so the Aggie lead is 2 at 55-53. Darius Brown having triple-double kind of numbers, 8 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists with 6:20 to go. Fresno State looking for a bucket. And now a whistle away from the ball. What Michael Irving call here? Looks like it's going to be on Utah State. Indeed it is. Mason Falslev picks up his second. So 5 team fouls now on the Aggies this half. Bulldogs get to run the baseline out of bounds. Jalen Weaver on the bench now. Juan Torres is looking at his left arm too, it appears. Isaiah Hill on the perimeter, matched up with Brown. Looking at the shot clock, 7 to shoot 6. Gives it up to Pope left wing, launching the 3 ball. Off the rim and the glass, no good.
Got the look he wanted it, right in the shooting pocket, just went off for him to the right. A little bit too much leaning.
The Bulldogs are 5 for 21 from three-point range tonight. They're down by 2, 5:40 to go. Uduje right wing, Osabor trying to post up Colomario underneath. Falslev has it up top now, driving past Tavares, scoops it up off the window and in. The help D never materialized, and Falslev with an easy bucket, 57-53 Utah State.
Yeah, you're going to give up some of that defensive understanding of where to help, where, you know, what to do out there with Tavares being so young. They're going to have to probably bring Weaver back in for him.
Well, Weaver is at the scorer's table now, so he's been cleared by the trainers to return. Hill was going to pass it to Ducell, who got knocked to the ground. The Aggies wanted a carry or a travel, nothing called anywhere, and the Bulldogs still have the ball. 7 on the shot clock. Pope in the corner, a shot fake. Now he'll launch that corner 3. Just grazed the rim. Kept alive by Tavares, and another look. Hill for 3. There it is.
That's why you keep that rookie in there sometimes, because he brings that energy. Great, keep it alive. Nice shot by Hill.
The tenacious persistence of Fresno State to earn a second chance 3 from Hill. Bulldogs now have Pope running the break. Fresno State down by 1, and Pope stripped going up. He'll be at the line with a chance to give Fresno State the lead back. Call on Jackson will be the team's 6th for Utah State this half.
Great team defense down there.
Falslev, rather.
Yeah, and you look at this play on the Mountain West Network. Perfect pass by Leo into Hill. Hill's hands and feet are ready to shoot it. Putting a lot of pressure on this Aggie team. And so, you know, now every possession, you don't have any breathing room, so that's time. Guys tighten up. You got to make sure the Fresno State guys stay loose.
Well, that foul was not a shooting foul. They called it on the floor, so no free throws for Fresno State. Bulldogs have the ball down by a point. 4.5 minutes to go in regulation here at the Save Mart Center. Hill, top of the arc, great crossover, shot fake over to Pope right wing. He drives onto Duje, jump stop in the lane, spinning, finds Colomario down low. He challenges the big man and makes it. Double clutch layup, good for Colomario over Osabor.
Well, Osabor looks a little tired out there, but he's going to call for it. Great finish by Leo. Nice pass to Leo. Let's see if the big man's got anything left down there.
1-point Bulldog lead at the 4-minute mark. Who saw it coming? Jackson driving on Ducell, feeds a Duje right baseline corner. He wants another 3 ball, back iron, no good. Osabor tips it out of there to Jackson, and another look for the Aggies. What a defensive effort by Justin Hudson's Bulldogs tonight.
Yes.
Jackson in the corner right side against Ducell. Shot clock in single digits, a step back 3, no good, back rim. Pope the rebound, wants to run. He's got Ducell in front, nearly has it stolen by Brown. A lot of tangling with the arms, no whistle. Fans are on top of the officials for that one. Now the Dogs in the half court. We'll have a timeout the next time the whistle blows. Fresno State has the ball in a 1-point lead.
Wow.
A high pick and roll with Hill and Ducell. Don't usually see that combination. Hill a crossover, a high arcing 3, and it's in. What a shot from the senior Isaiah Hill to give Fresno State a 4-point lead.
Hill's taking over at the end here.
With that shot, Isaiah Hill just passed Chris Herron into 21st on the all-time scoring list. Brown loses it. They're going to say Fresno State ball. Aggies wanted a foul on Isaiah Hill. Mike Reed and Michael Irving looked at each other, said, that's off Utah State. It'll be Bulldog ball, but they'll look at it in the timeout. But back to that shot by Hill, Coach. How pretty was that?
Beautiful shot. That's what you get with senior.
Well, here we go. The final 2:59 of regulation at the Save Mart Center. Fresno State somehow, some way, a 4-point lead over the 22nd ranked Aggies. Isaiah Hill wants another 3. That one's off the front iron, but Colomario an offensive board. Do you want to work a little clock here, Coach?
Yeah. You're in a good offensive place. You're scoring when you need to. Take your time, burn some clock.
Shot clock in single digits, 2.5 minutes to go in regulation. Bulldogs trying to pull off a stunner. Hill against Osabor, high arcing 3, missed it, and this time the rebound to Brown. Great closeout by the big man.
Now you want to get stuff going to the basket, give yourself a chance to get fouled for Fresno State.
Uduje trying to get fouled, does, by Weaver, and Uduje will go to the line for 2. Jalen Weaver picks up his second personal. That's number 10 on the team. So every foul shot opportunity the rest of the way for the Aggies will yield 2 attempts. Unless it's from three-point range.
You want to get those paint touches because that sucks defense down. If you shoot a three-pointer, you kind of want it off of that at this point, right? Attacking, try to get fouled, take care of the ball. Both sides are probably going to do that.
Well, we've seen Coach Hudson's Bulldogs last year knock off a nationally ranked New Mexico team here in the Save Mart Center when the Lobos were undefeated. The year before that, the Bulldogs defeated a nationally ranked San Diego State here in the Save Mart Center. Tonight, a chance to knock off number 22, Utah State, and send shockwaves through the Mountain West standings.
Oh, national standings, too. I mean, look at everything that's involved.
Through the tournament picture,
yeah, this is big.
Uduje made them both. So the Bulldogs lead by 2 with just over 2 minutes to go, and Justin Hudson takes time with 2:14 remaining. That timeout brought to you by Table Mountain Casino Resort. Have a lucky day, followed by
an epic night. And the night's going to be epic for the Dogs if they can get into this timeout and run the right play coming out of it. I know you got some more commercials. Sorry about that.
I want to hear what you have to say,
Well,
Coach.
I mean, that's all it is. It's simple. You don't get in there and over-talk it. Work some clock. Set some decent picks. Get to the hole. Turn the corner if you can. Jump stop in the paint under control. Shot fake, get to the line or kick it out.
I told you that timeout is brought to you by Table Mountain Casino Resort. Have a lucky day, followed by an epic night, only at Table Mountain Casino Resort. 61-59 Bulldogs. Isaiah Hill with 21 points. Colomario, who's battled his tail off, giving up 60 pounds to Osobor, has 13 and 6 rebounds. A dozen for Ducell. The Bulldogs have shot the ball much better in the second half. They were at 25% for the first half, 54% since halftime, and here comes a pivotal possession.
Pivotal. Close game where you want it if you're Fresno State. You know Utah State's got a lot on their mind. They got a lot to lose. The Dogs have nothing to lose, and they're playing well.
Isaiah Pope driving on Uduje. Stops the bounce, out to Weaver. Now up top Ducell. They swing to Hill, left wing against Brown. 2 minutes to play. Bulldogs with the ball up 2. Little pick and roll. Colomario got caught going to the hoop. Now here's Weaver backing down Falslev, overpowering, but missed it a little too much on that bank shot attempt. And here comes Utah State. Osobor down low with Colomario, who's got 4 fouls. And here's Martinez driving, double teamed, back out to Brown. Aggies look a little confused on this possession. Uduje was wide open for a layup. They didn't see him. Instead, Osobor up top. Hands off to Martinez, 10 to shoot. And now what's the call? Timeout taken by Danny Sprinkle. He saw the same thing we were saying, Coach. The Aggies looked out of sorts there.
Yeah, I know if he thinks about it again, he probably wish he'd called it 7 seconds earlier when they had a guy wide open, nobody's looking for him. They're trying to run the play. So now if you're Fresno State, you look at who's in foul trouble. Do you want to play him? Do you want to put somebody else in? It's all on what the coach's call is. With 1:30 left, I'd chance it with Leo in there. But make sure you talk, and depending on where they're letting the ball in, we've seen the Dogs get burned on baseline out-of-bounds plays. So you got to know where the ball's being taken in and be prepared. Is it going to be on the side or underneath? Looks like it's going to be on the side.
61-59 Fresno State, 90 seconds remaining in regulation. We're brought to you by SeatGeek, the official ticket partner of Fresno State Athletics. Whether you're buying or selling basketball tickets, SeatGeek, the place to do it. SeatGeek, so Bulldog fans can fan. Taylor, it was Danny Sprinkle that called the timeout, but did you see anything, hear anything noteworthy from the Bulldog huddle there?
I did. They said to play tough defense, but you cannot foul.
Ain't that the truth? Brown driving, fires to the corner right side. They couldn't get the 3 off. Uduje backing downhill, shot clock violation. Uduje didn't know how much time was left. And everything Danny Sprinkle said in the timeout went out the window.
Well, that's why I said he probably wished he'd called it 7 seconds before.
You said it.
Yeah, you know. And now if you're Fresno State, you want to stay assertive, protect the ball, nothing crazy, and check your timeouts. Do we have a timeout to give so we don't have a bad possession?
Fresno State has 2 timeouts left. Utah State 1. I know this isn't the biggest crowd in the world, but
it feels
do you
like
give the crowd an assist on that shot clock violation?
And this whole second half, the crowd has been great. You know, the noise has been awesome. We haven't got quite to the herd level yet for y'all that's out there at Utah State.
The herd is unmatched in the Mountain West. Just got to say, if we have some Aggie fans watching, nobody in the conference has a better student section than the herd. We've even joked, or not even joked, about having some Aggie students come here for a master's degree and start the same thing here at Fresno State student section.
Yeah. And bring down some of that bread from Maddox over there I like to get at the steakhouse.
Oh, those rolls are good.
Indeed.
And the cornbread.
Oh, yeah, all that stuff. Bring it down.
Steak.
Yeah, keep talking to me.
Well, the Bulldogs are trying to take a big bite out of the Mountain West standings here and knock off the leader. They're up 2 with 1:21 to go. It was a shot clock violation. And here comes the senior Isaiah Hill, who's made some huge shots in the second half. Hill guarded by the redshirt freshman Falslev, who isn't your ordinary redshirt freshman. He's a return missionary, 21 years old. Hill switches on to Osobor. 10 seconds on the shot clock, a minute to play. Hill against Osobor. Driving into the lane, floats it up, missed it. But Weaver almost had a putback dunk. Colomario an offensive rebound, and he's fouled. 2 huge offensive rebounds by a relentless bunch of Bulldogs tonight.
He almost put that down on that guy's neck, but still he didn't get it. Colomario's diving out, hustling on the ground. Now he's got to get up there. Let's see, 2 free throws. Get your mindset. Get your press set. See what Coach Hutt will do if he makes both.
Well, he's got to make the first to earn the second. That was team foul number 7. So it's a 1-and-1 for Colomario, who's got 13 points tonight, 7 rebounds. And even though he's listed at 190, he's played at about 250 with how he's contended with Osobor.
You got to believe that now. I wouldn't let him practice tomorrow because he's probably going to be sore.
And in and out and back in again. A 3-point Bulldog lead, another foul shot coming for Colomario. Can I ask you a dumb question, Coach?
No dumb questions in education.
Did Saturday night's blowout loss to San Diego State help Fresno State find a better approach or a little more desire tonight?
Yeah, they don't want to get embarrassed. Took a lot more pride, Bulldog pride, in tonight's game. You can tell by the way that their effort.
Colomario made 2 huge free throws. It's a 4-point lead, 45 seconds left. Falslev attacks the basket again and lays it up and in. Falslev did a little leapfrog through the lane there, got credit for a jump stop before the deuce. He's up to 10 in the game, joining Uduje and Osobor in double digits, but Danny Sprinkle's Mountain West lead in jeopardy. His Aggies trail by 2 with 44 seconds left. And now another timeout, the last one Utah State has, taken with 44 seconds left. I bet the Boise State Broncos are awfully interested in this game.
I think there's a whole part of this conference that's really looking at this game, right?
Utah State swept Boise State in the regular season and owns a tiebreaker over the Broncos. And those 2 teams at the start of play tonight were, well, Boise State's 11-4. If Utah State loses this game, the Broncos would be in the driver's seat to be the number 1 seed.
Wow.
And you've got San Diego State and UNLV at 10-5, hoping Utah State slips into a second-place tie with them. The Rebels needed overtime to win in Laramie tonight. But here at the Save Mart Center, Coach, this is as big of a stunner as I think we've ever seen when you consider how the deck was stacked against Fresno State physically and depth-wise tonight.
Well, San Diego State certainly had an advantage. They dominated the Dogs the first game and ran the same game plan again. The Dogs couldn't stop the interior issues. Did a good job at times, but San Diego State was able to figure it out. Most teams like UNLV struggled here with a smaller dog team. And Leo had a good game that night, but they just couldn't win it. You're seeing some of that tonight.
Yes, we are. And as the Dogs bring it up, Taylor, any highlights from the instructions from Coach Hudson there?
It's all about the same at this point in the game.
Well, it certainly is. It's crunch time. It's winning time, and the Bulldogs trying to pull that off. The senior point guard, Isaiah Hill, with the ball in his hands. 27 seconds left. Hands off to Pope. 10 on the shot clock. Pope near midcourt. Shot clock at 7. Pope wants to attack. Pope floats it up right of the lane. Missed it. Brown the rebound for Utah State, trying to come down and tie it. Darius Brown to Falslev. Layup, no, and a blocking foul. Isaiah Hill picks up the foul, and Falslev will have a chance to tie it at the line. I should note that Mason Falslev is only a 62% free throw shooter this year, And if ever there were a time, Coach, for the Save Mart Center to get loud, here it is.
Well, you see the student section and people up there standing up and moving out their seats, trying to get underneath the basket, doing everything they can to make some noise.
And he missed the first.
Now, watch the center play, right? You want to make sure you block out and don't let that guy get a tip if you're Fresno State. And if you're Utah State, you're looking for him to get that.
Will he miss it on purpose here?
That's what I mean.
With 12 seconds left, he made it. So the Bulldogs have a 1-point lead, 12 seconds left. They know the Aggies are going to foul. And Colomario, trapped on the baseline, takes time out with 8 seconds left.
Inbounds, meet all passes. You know,
Utah State subbed in the wingspan of Khalifa Sacco, the 7-footer, trying to deny the inbound pass of Pope, who's looking. They run Ducell. He catches under the hoop and is fouled by Martinez with 7.5 seconds left. So the guy you just said they should try to get the ball to, Coach, will be at the line. But this is a 1-and-1 with 7.5 seconds to go.
Well, he's a veteran. He's been playing college ball. You know he's got a lot of confidence. The X-Man exudes that. So he's got to get up there and just knock him down. Now the key is, you know, telling your guys what you want to do. Is this a 1-and-1?
It's a 1-and-1. He's an 81% free throw shooter this season.
See, I like putting the guys on the line in that situation, but some guys like them back.
The Bulldogs don't have any rebounders on the edge of the lane as Ducell makes the first free throw.
Now at exit may not make a difference.
You hope not.
You hope not.
Now he's got a chance to make it a 3-point game.
But what you want to, don't give him a straight line to the basket. Watch the shooters drifting out for the 3-point line.
Ducell made them both. Bulldogs by 3, 7 seconds left.
Good
Utah
job.
State trying to maintain its national ranking. Darius Brown trying to draw a foul, forces up a 3 and banks it in with 1 second left. Pope, a baseball pass for Colomario. He can't get it. Falslev punched it out of there, and we're going to go to overtime at the Save Mart Center tonight.
Some nights you think it's your night, and at the end, something like that happens. A guy hits an off-balance banker with a contest from Leo, what you want. He doesn't travel. Leo doesn't foul him. Gets it up there and banks it in. Incredible.
Danny Sprinkle wanted the foul in a 4-point play. That was a ridiculous bank shot by Darius Brown from about 30 feet out, but it was set up by the screen by Osibor. Jalen Weaver, who's already taken a shot to the face, just ran into a brick wall near midcourt.
Yeah, and, you know, we talked about no straight lines to the basket. That's when you want the guard to have to turn and make a pass away from it, right? Or take a diversion where it cooks time. They still stayed on this side of the floor, as you notice, and got the look that they wanted, even though I think it was a lucky shot. And it could have been called a foul. I almost thought he was going to call that.
Yeah, some officials would. Speaking of the officials, they were just looking at the monitor. I don't know if they were going to say there was time remaining in regulation, but 5 minutes have gone on the clock, and we appear to be headed for overtime, so we'll take a quick break and come back with bonus basketball at the Save Mart Center. The Bulldogs trying to knock off a nationally ranked team for the first time all season. It's Fresno State basketball from Learfield. Fresno State wins the tip in overtime and has it first in the extra 5 minutes. Bulldogs also have a lot more foul trouble than the Aggies. 4 fouls apiece on Hill and Colomario. Pope bulling his way into the paint and banks it in over Uduje. A physical finish from Isaiah Pope, the 4th dog in double digits tonight with 11. Fresno State 67, Aggies 65.
Going straight into the bucket, posting up, taking his time.
Falslev catches the lob and puts it in, plus a foul. So
that on Hill?
I think it's on Ducell.
I think you're.
It's on Isaiah Hill. So that's some pretty smart coaching by Danny Sprinkle to say, you know what, let's go backwards. Let's put the big man on the perimeter, lob it to a guy matched up on the point guard who's got 4 fouls, and he has fouled Isaiah Hill out of the game.
Yeah, now if you're the Dogs, how do you get your composure? You got Tavares in the game, not the most versed on all the defensive stuff, but you got to lift him up.
Falslev makes the free throw. 3-point play has the Aggies in front, and the Bulldogs' leading scorer in this game, their senior point guard, Isaiah Hill, who earlier tonight passed Chris Herron into 21st on the all-time scoring list. He has fouled out for the first time all season. And the Bulldogs are going to have to find a way without him, but Colomario turns it over. Here comes Osobor down the lane, fouled. He missed the shot. Weaver's hustle prevented a dunk, but Osobor will try to earn him at the line, and that's his second personal on Weaver.
I thought if they wouldn't have fouled him, I almost think he would have traveled on that play, or that leg locks up on him. You could tell he's running a little awkwardly.
He did have to sit briefly with a cramp earlier. That's what fueled Fresno State's run that shot the Dogs into the lead, was Osobor's absence. But now he'll be at the line for two with 4:11 to go in the first overtime. Fresno State's leader, Isaiah Hill, has fouled out with 21 points.
And, he plays almost, what would you say, 40 minutes a night practically?
He averages 36 a game, but yeah.
I mean, that's just some games that maybe they just pulled him out way early.
And lately, with being shorthanded, as Osobor misses another foul shot, he's 4 of 9 at the line. And they've replaced him with Isaac Taveras, the freshman, in case you're wondering at home and are on the radio side.
So who's going to run the team? Who's going to be the vocal leader that gets these guys going and get them into their offense?
Osobor's second free throw's in. So the Aggie lead is 2 with 4:11 to go in the first overtime.
And what do you go to? Now you don't have Hill for that pick and roll with that threat. You have to find a way to create a different threat, and Ducell having the ball may be a right idea.
Ducell guarded by Darius Brown, dribbling between the rings. Brown, a really good defender and a physical one at that. Ducell double-teamed briefly, holds onto the ball, crosses over on Brown, driving up off one foot, the bank shot, in and out and back in again. Xavier Ducell says, hey, I can do this, give me a shot.
Take his time, lifts up. He's a great shooter, he's got the bank game. Nice touch.
Tied at 69, 16 now for Xavier Ducell, the senior. Uduje passes on an open three opportunity, gets it to Falslev, who's fouled by Taveras, dribbling on the baseline. So Falslev will have 2 more free throws. 69 all with 3:29 to go in this first overtime. The Bulldogs have been called for 23 fouls tonight. Remember, their bench is pretty short. Hill has fouled out. Colomario's got 4. That's number 3 on Taveras. Pope has 3. And Courtney on the bench has 3 as Falslev clanks another one. The Aggies just 16 of 24 at the line tonight.
Well, you talked about a hack-a-shack philosophy earlier. That may be the case with a couple of guys on the floor with Utah State. If you're Fresno State, you got the fouls. If you need to foul them, find out who you need to hit.
Falslev made the second. The Aggies the first to 70 tonight. Remember, they average 80 a game, didn't get to 70 until overtime. Pope driving on Brown all the way to the rim. Layup good. Bulldogs back in front, 71-70. 13 for Isaiah Pope.
They're really moving over slow in their help defense, and Brown is telling guys, you got to come over. The Dogs continue to take advantage of those lanes.
Brown penetrating, swings cross-court, Falslev. He crashes into Pope, double-teamed, back out to Uduje. Jump stop in the lane, Uduje fouled, and if that's on Leo, that's number 5. Leo thought he had all ball, but it looked like he blocked it with his elbow. And it is not on Colomario. It's on Xavier Ducell, his third.
You look off the penetration, 2-foot jump stop. Guys got their hands extended, trying to make the foul.
And Leo did block it with his armpit, but Ducell had put 2 hands on Uduje, and that's why he got whistled for the foul. These officials have pretty good eyes, and let's give Mike Reed some credit on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Uduje just made the free throw. We're tied at 71. 2:58 to go in the first OT. Second one no good. Colomario the rebound. Boy, Danny Sprinkle, when this team is at the foul line, just has to be a nervous wreck tonight. Pope top of the arc, matched up with Osobor. Now he's on the right wing, facing him up. Thought about a 3, now drives into the lane, dishes to the corner. Weaver, a left baseline 3, no good. And the rebound to Utah State's Ian Martinez. 71 all, 2.5 minutes to play in this first OT.
Nice penetration, but you really want X in that spot to hit that 3 for you. Let Weaver drive off stuff like that.
Uduje's hit a couple threes. He has it on the perimeter. Hands off Falslev against Ducell. Slipped on his crossover, but kept his dribble as he got back up off a knee. Uduje's got it. Shot clock winding down. Jump stop in the lane. Fade away, Jay. That's a big shot. A tough one from Uduje, who covered about 6 feet on that turnaround pivot.
All right, you got an extra. You got 2 timeouts left. If you don't get what you like here early, you might consider calling a timeout, but they got a set that I think they like to run.
Bulldogs down by 2 on their home floor in overtime against the 22nd ranked team in the country. Minute 50 to go. Pope up top against Osobor.
So he's on that side.
Driving hard. Knifes under the basket. What's the call? They're going to call it a turnover. Just lost it out of bounds. No foul, and it's Utah State basketball.
And they adjusted that time, put X in that left wing corner, that left corner. They were looking for the same thing.
It's only the 8th turnover of the game for Fresno State, which has forced 16 of those from the Aggies. But a huge possession here. Aggies with the ball in a 2-point lead. 90 seconds left in this first OT. Darius Brown, the 6th-year senior, has it up top, working the pick and roll with Osobor. Comes cross-court to Falslev. He dribbles in the paint, feeds Martinez. Martinez driving now from the left wing. No foul call as he lost the ball out of bounds. There was contact with Ducell, but no whistle. And the Bulldogs have it back with a chance to tie or take the lead.
But the officiating has been fair on both of those sides, right? Guys driving, getting bumped a little bit. And, he just lost it in his hands. That wasn't nothing created by a foul. He just slipped out.
A minute 10 to go as Pope walks it across the timeline. Isaiah Hill watching from the bench. He's fouled out. Comes to Ducell, left wing. Matched up with Osobor, the big man. Facing him up. Little crossover dribble. Angles toward the paint. Brown came on the help D. Over to Pope. He drives past Osobor. Wild shot with contact. Goes. Got up in the air in the lane and leaning. Brought it down to his hip. And with one hand, banked it in to tie us up.
Well, you look at that play. Got to continue to penetrate and then get stops on the defensive end.
73 apiece. 40 seconds left in the first OT. Osobor manhandling Colomario underneath. Brown fires a 3 and makes it. 2 huge threes from Darius Brown, who was staring at the Bulldog fans like he did when he hit that bank shot that forced OT.
Well, he's getting into a rhythm out there, bouncing around. He's dancing. He's finding his touch from there. He's so far out, you don't think to jam him because he'll go by you. So smart play on his end.
Darius Brown, the second, up to 14 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. He had the off-balance bank shot 3 to force OT. Now they're checking the monitor to see if the one he just hit was a 3 or a 2. That could be significant if there's a change. What a game, Coach. And I have to imagine that a lot of people counted Fresno State out after the last performance against San Diego State. And it says something about who these young men on the Bulldog roster are this year.
Well, it certainly does. And Coach Hutt talked earlier in the interview with you before the game how they looked a little down. And today they were better. So that means sometimes your team is down like that they're really reflecting on what just happened. And they're deciding, are we ever going to let that happen to us again? And tonight, against all odds, they said, no, we're not going to let that happen. We're going to go out here and execute and play tough and be physical the whole game, which is what got them into this spot.
So with 35 seconds left, are you trying to set up a 3 to tie the game, or are you attacking the basket and maybe an and one?
Yeah, I think I like attacking right now. I don't, depending on if X gets a good look. Let's see if they run something special for X, I'd take it all day long. 76-73
Aggies, under 30 seconds to go. A 5-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Pope driving on Osobor, has it stolen by Osobor. Then a scramble for it. Osobor has it, gets it to Brown, and now the Bulldogs will have to foul him. He's their best foul shooter. They didn't foul him. They do foul Uduje as Tavares fouls him hard. Borderline intentional there with 15 seconds to go. And Uduje will be at the line with a chance to ice it for Utah State. He'll get 2 shots in the double bonus.
Yeah, so now you're in a situation where you got to hope he misses.
Well, and I go back, Coach, to what Danny Sprinkle set up in the timeout for Utah State to try to post up Falslev against Hill, ended up fouling Hill out of the game. So Hill hasn't been around these last couple possessions. The first 2 turnovers of the entire game for Isaiah Pope have come really with the game on the line in overtime.
Yeah, the team is, I was making the point of Hill almost plays 40 minutes a night.
Yeah,
that's why. I mean, maybe there were some times that he didn't play that much, but it's been rare, and it's because he keeps the team going. You can see how things fall apart with him not being in running the point.
Josh Uduje last year at Coastal Carolina was a 91% foul shooter. Hasn't been quite as locked down at Utah State this year, 74%.
Oh, he called timeout.
Oh, they called timeout before the Bulldogs fouled them. Somehow we missed that. So Utah State used its last timeout. The Bulldogs were going to commit the foul. Now that timeout call has given Fresno State a chance at a steal, but it comes into Brown in the backcourt, and they'll be able to work out more time. But Weaver is called for the foul, and they'll get a better foul shooter, Darius Brown, at the line. And who else would they want after the shots he's hit tonight?
Yeah, and you're looking at telling your guys right now, if you're Fresno State, make or miss, this is what we want to do. He's going to get 2. So I think you get your best looking shot coming down and then try to get a steal in denial or call a timeout. I think he's got 2 left? Yeah, he can call a timeout if they can get a score.
And an 89% foul shooter misses the first.
Wow.
Now this is where the Save Mart Center needs to get loud. Well, he makes the second, so it's a 4-point game with 12.5 seconds left, 77-73. Colomario gets it into Pope. Pope jogging across the timeline, 8 seconds. Pope, right wing, 6 seconds, 5. There's Ducell, the off-balance 3-ball. Back rim, no good. Rebound tipped around. Martinez gets it. Taveras takes it away, but it's too late. And the Utah State Aggies will maintain their national ranking by the skin of their teeth. It took a wild bank shot 3 from Darius Brown to force overtime, and in OT, the Aggies prevail to tie Boise State for the conference lead at 11-4, 23-5 overall. The Bulldogs fall to 11-17, now 4-11 in the Mountain West. 77-73, the final in favor of the 22nd ranked Aggies. Coach Q, all I can say is, wow. And we're going to get Coach Hudson in with us right now to talk about it. So if you're with us on the Mountain West Network, you'll see the coach. If you're with us on the radio, you will hear from him.
TV.
It was 30-25 at halftime. The Bulldogs extended